When you hear the word surprise, typically you think it's a good thing. Well, sometimes it could be a bad thing, especially in fantasy football. You could be surprised that your player is doing well, or you could be surprised that your player is busting. I'm going to give you guys 5 wide receivers that could surprise you either in a good way or a bad way. I'm ruining the surprise, giving you guys some inside information on these particular 5 receivers so that you're not surprised either in a good way or in a bad way during the season. Last thing you want is you draft a player first overall or in the first round or wherever, and they surprise you in a bad way. So we're diving into some surprises here today. It's a surprise episode. I'm super excited to dive in, all right? Now, before we get into this, surprise your balls. Surprise your balls. Yes, I've got the Boxers 2.0 right here. Head on over to Manscaped right now. These are the only boxers I use, and my balls will thank me. So then you don't have to worry about surprises of your balls sticking to the side of your leg or uncomfortable underwear or wedgies or stuff like that. Surprise yourself with some, in a positive way in this case, with the Boxers 2.0 right here, guys. Also, try the Lawnmower 4.0 and surprise yourself on how amazing it feels when you're trimming your balls. Manscaped.com, Showerline20 is the code, guys. You will be pleasantly surprised with the product. Manscaped.com, that's a sponsor of the show. Head on over there right now, and usually they have amazing discounts. Go add another 20% off at checkout. Manscaped.com, guys. Use code Showerline20. And of course, guys, get the 16-round draft solution. This is the game changer. Sleepers, breakouts, optimal players drafted in each round. Everything you guys need. It's like having me at the draft with you. Get 16 rounds, guys. Just Google 16-round draft solution. I've linked it below here on YouTube, or head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. Go treat yourself. This is the game changer. We are in full force draft season. Go get light years ahead of the competition. 16 rounds. Tube20 is the code to save 20%. All right, let's dive into this. Now, let me know in the comments what you think. Will you be surprised in a good way or a bad way with these 5 wide receivers? I want to make this super interactive with you guys. I want to have a lot of fun here. Let's dive into it, all right? And thumbs up, guys. Really helps the channel. Just take 1 second to hit that thumbs up. Really helps the channel, getting that message out to more people. Hopefully not your league mates, but more people, because I'm out here spreading the fantasy football truth, line mentality, all right? So, first wide receiver here. You're going to be surprised one way or another. The guy I'm talking about is Gabriel Davis. Now, Gabriel Davis had an amazing postseason, right? Playoffs, phenomenal. The guy had 13 targets, 10 receptions, 5 touchdowns for 242 yards. 5 touchdowns, guys, in the postseason. This guy was tearing it up. Looked like a true wide receiver 1. Now, Stephon Diggs is still there. Obviously, Josh Allen likes to run the ball. They brought on James Cook, who I think is going to be used a lot in the receiving game. So when I look at Gabriel Davis, this is kind of like that fool's gold type situation. This guy finished 58th last season. Obviously, again, didn't really emerge to the end of the season in the playoffs, right? Last year, he played 16 games, 63 targets, 35 receptions, 549 yards, 6 touchdowns on the season. Not bad. He can only get better from there. Now, he's currently sitting 34th amongst wide receivers. Now, that's not bad, guys. You're looking at 6 to 8 round fantasy football value. So, the big question is, do you want to draft him? What's the surprise? The surprise is he's going to go back to his average year, right? Those playoff games, they could have been a fluke, right? That's just the bottom line. So he could surprise you. Well, Joe, he surprised me in the playoffs. Why isn't he doing it again? Do something. Why? I drafted you in like round 6, 7, or 8, right? Depending on how many people in your league, right? That's kind of his ADP. He's 34th amongst wide receivers. So you're going to be surprised one way or another. He could completely bust, and that was, a surprise playoff appearance, or this guy could absolutely crush it, become the wide receiver 1. I think we're leaning a little more towards an upset into a mediocre type performance out of Gabriel Davis. Now, I definitely see the ceiling. The playoffs showed me that. But am I investing in him? I think there's other wide receivers I'm looking at that ADP. So I'm personally going to be staying away from Gabriel Davis. But he's going to surprise you guys, either in a good way or a bad way, if you draft him. Okay? Even if you're watching, maybe he has that emergence and maybe he really takes off this season and absolutely explodes to the moon, right? Rocket ship. Kind of what he did in the playoffs. So Gabriel Davis is going to be that guy that's going to surprise you one way or another. I think he's going to surprise you in the way of mediocrity, and we saw like an anomaly in the playoffs. So be careful with Gabriel Davis, all right? Coming at number 2, guys. Adam Thielen. How is he going to surprise you? Well, he's sitting 33rd amongst wide receivers right now. How he's going to surprise you, I think is going to be in a good way. I think he surprises you, becomes the wide receiver 1 on the Vikings. Now, Joe, you're crazy here. How could you say that? Well, this guy got hurt near the end of the season. But prior to that, the first 8 weeks, he was on par with targets. When you look at the target count between Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, between the first 8 weeks, guess what? It's pretty much the exact same with 2 targets in favor of Justin Jefferson. 68 to 66. Justin Jefferson, first 8 weeks of the season. Adam Thielen is Kirk Cousins' favorite target. Bottom line. Again, when you look at the end of the season, he got hurt. I get it. But if you look at their touchdowns, they both had 10 touchdowns apiece. Guess who would have had more touchdowns if he played the entire season? Probably Adam Thielen. Now, Jefferson might have had him a little bit, maybe 10, 15 more targets, a couple more receptions, and maybe about 400 more receiving yards. What I'm trying to emphasize here is that I'm getting myself Adam Thielen from round 5, 6, 7, right? I'm getting Adam Thielen for free, while mainstream consensus are telling you to draft Justin Jefferson round 1 when I'm loading up on a workhorse running back. Adam Thielen will surprise you because he can only do well. He can only have a good season based on his ADP, unless he gets hurt, God forbid, right? So Adam Thielen is in a prime position to succeed. He will surprise you by becoming the wide receiver 1 this year for Fantasy Football 2022. Now, again, that's a bit of a bold prediction here, but I'm getting him after round 5. Right, that's the value here. He finished 28th amongst wide receivers, and again, he got hurt last year. I think he played like 13 games. Adam Thielen, right, tied for touchdowns with Justin Jefferson last year, tied for targets between the first 8-9 weeks of the season. Okay, will surprise you and become the wide receiver 1 this year. That could be a big surprise. But that's my bold prediction. All right, number 3 here, Drake London, rookie. USC, 6'5", 210 plus pounds, big-bodied receiver. I think is going to surprise you in a good way. This guy is sitting 41st amongst wide receiver rankings. Again, Adam Thielen, 33rd. Gabriel Davis, 34th. These guys could really, really boom. And this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. There's a ton of value at wide receiver. This is why you have to go robust RB. And the mainstream sheeps just keep telling you. They keep saying, hey, Joe. Hey, everybody. Hey, fans. Hey, fantasy football passionate fan you there. You got to go 0 RB. You're crazy. There's so much value at wide receiver. So Drake London sitting 41st will surprise you and finish top 10 amongst wide receivers. Now, this is a bit of a bold prediction, but I don't care. Why is that? Well, he was the first rookie drafted out of the NFL 2022 draft, which means there's obviously the scouts and people are seeing something in him. Now, I'm not a big believer in scouts, and I don't really believe what people say, but I watched film. I watched talent. I see the upside. Not only to mention that, I see the opportunity. Okay, this is a huge thing, guys. Opportunity. Okay, opportunity is knocking. So when I look at him, you look at him his last year at college, 88 receptions, 1,084 yards, 7 touchdowns, not bad. But now he's going into a spot with the Falcons where he is the wide receiver 1. Now, some people are saying there's Kyle Pitts there. I understand Kyle Pitts is there. He is a tight end. I don't care how many passes he catches or, how much volume goes his way. They still need a wide receiver. Wide receivers catch balls. Drake London is in line to catch the balls. High draft capital by the Falcons. They obviously believe in him. And again, the other knock I always get is, well, number 1 is Kyle Pitts, which is a tight end, which is not really a knock. And number 2, Mariota. Mariota's there, and he's got Desmond Ridder breathing down his throat. These guys can get the ball downfield. They're going to be efficient. They're going to get the ball to Drake London, who's a big-bodied receiver who can come down with those 50-50 contested catches and win those catches and win the ball and be a good red zone target. He's going to be a red zone target. He's going to get those touchdowns. He's going to get the yardage after catch. It's going to be high. He's a strong receiver. And I already heard in training camp, he is looking impressive. So Drake London, guys, huge value. A wide receiver 1, absolute sleeper. And I think he's going to surprise you in a good way. Look at Drake London. All right. Let's keep going here. Now, also, this guy here, I'm gonna go over this one. This one is going to be a negative surprise. You definitely want to listen to this one because you don't want to spend first-round draft capital on him. But again, I got to shout out Manscaped again. If you missed it at the beginning, get the boxers. Your balls will thank you. They will be surprised. I'll be like, hello. I'm doing a ball voice here. Thank you. Thank you for the ball. Thank you for the underwear. Guys, try the boxers, okay? 2.0, manscaped.com, showerline20. Save yourself 20%. Get the trimmer as well. Be impressed. Treat yourself. All right. Surprise yourself. Try the boxers. All right. And DM me. Say, I tried the boxers. They're amazing. Love to get your feedback. I'd only push and promote stuff I believe in. I think you'll get a ton of value with everything on Manscaped. Showerline20. Go do that. I had to plug them again. All right. Number 4. I'm excited here, guys. Let's talk about him. The guy I'm talking about is Davante Adams. Davante Adams is not going to surprise you in a good way. I assure you. And I've talked about this a lot in my bust videos. I talked about this in my player to avoid videos. I talk about this everywhere. Davante Adams is going to surprise you in a bad way. There's a lot of hype now going around Davante Adams with teaming up with Derek Carr again. That rapport, everything's going good. I love Derek Carr, blah, 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 blah. I love Davante Adams, blah, blah, blah. You got to take a look at something. Hunter Renfrow was the number one receiver last year, okay, with the Vegas Raiders, okay? 128 targets, 103 receptions, 9 touchdowns. Let me recap this again. 128 targets, 103 receptions, 9 touchdowns. This is the number. I'm writing this down as I'm talking so that I can hammer it and engrave it in my head, because it's already in my head, but I want you guys to write this down. 128 targets, 103 receptions, 9 touchdowns. Renfrow is the number one wide receiver on the team. And if he's not, he's got to be a pylon this season for Davante Adams to duplicate what he did last year. Last year, 169 targets for Adams, 11 touchdowns. All right? And 123 receptions or whatever he had for receptions. I don't care. 169 targets. For Adams to thrive, okay, he has to get that much volume. Now, here's the thing again. Let's go back to the first number I just gave you. 128, 103, 9 touchdowns. This was Renfrow last year. He was the number one receiver. Those numbers, without Adams there, don't even come close to the 169 targets, 9 touchdowns to 11 touchdowns with Adams. Yeah, they still don't come to close target share-wise to what Adams got last year. Now, here's the kicker here. Renfrow is still there. Okay? I can't tell you enough. He's a red zone target. He had 9 touchdowns last year, Renfrow. He's still there. So what the mainstream are telling you is this. They're saying Davante Adams last year finished with Rodgers, who had years with rapport in the NFL. He finished with this number, finished on top. He's going to do the exact same thing with Derek Carr. Again, with Renfrow and Waller there, who peaked at 145 targets. Even Waller, who was number one receiver, who's a tight end in 2020, didn't even hit 169 targets. So I'm just trying to mathematically add up how Adams is going to hit the same amount of targets and volume and touchdowns he did last year with Renfrow and Waller there. This is an offense I'll be watching because I want to see this happen mathematically, because everyone's telling me I got to draft Davante Adams. Unless Derek Carr force feeds Adams 169 targets, he will not duplicate last year's numbers. Bottom line. And not only that, you're getting a huge, not even a small, a giant leap, plunge down, forward, downgrade at quarterback. And if you guys think Derek Carr is good, all I got to say is this. The guy's got to win a playoff game to be considered a good quarterback. 2 playoff appearances, and how many years has he been in the NFL? Since 2015, 7, 8, 9, 10 years? I don't even know. He's been in the league for a long time. And he's had 2 playoff appearances in which he lost. So Derek Carr is a downgrade. He sucks. Don't trust it. Renfro's there. Waller's there. Josh Jacobs is there. Drake is there. All these guys catching the ball in the backfield. You're looking at least 150 targets going towards running backs. I'm staying away from this. I'm not investing in Davante Adams. Now you're saying, well, Joe, do you want Renfrow? No, I don't want Renfrow because Adams is there. I don't want to touch this because I don't know who the wide receiver 1 is. Because in 2020, it was Waller. In 2021, it was Renfrow. In 2022, who's to say that it's going to be Adams with his 2 wide receiver 1s over the past 2 years still there? Staying away. Out. So you're going to be surprised when Adams busted. Now I'm spoiling that surprise. Just don't draft him, all right? Again, I could be wrong, but I stated my case. And the 5th guy here is going to surprise you in a good way. Darnell Mooney, 140 targets last year, 81 receptions, 1,055 yards, and 4 touchdowns. I think the talent is there. He's come out and said, I'm going to crush it this year. His rapport is getting better with Fields. Fields now going into the season as the starter. The rapport can only get better. My only concern is, can Darnell Mooney, similar to other situations like Lazard and Pittman, can take that role as the wide receiver 1? There's no one else there. I mean, you got to imagine they're going to stack some boxes on Montgomery, stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, do they free up a safety and double cover Mooney all season? That could be a problem. Can he handle that? But he's proved to be pretty impressive last year. And similar to the Drake London situation, I think the volume is going to be there. Volume is king. We saw it with Adams last year. Obviously, Adams is a lot better of a wide receiver, and he's got a better quarterback thrown to him. But I'm expecting a safe floor out of Darnell Mooney and Drake London. Both got some upside. They're both going to surprise you in an upside kind of way. I'm excited. I'm excited about Drake London and Mooney. And the point I'm trying to make here, when you look at all these guys, minus Davante Adams, amazing value at wide receiver. And I haven't even mentioned other sleepers like Christian Watson, Alec Pierce, and other guys that you can get later. So, guys, amazing value here. And these guys are going to surprise you one way or another, all right? Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think? Are they going to surprise you good or bad way? Love to get your feedback. Any other players that could surprise you? And get the 16-round draft solution, guys. Head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. Secure the solution. Win your leagues, guys. I appreciate you. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. You won't be as surprised with these guys, but I'm giving you guys a competitive advantage by giving you that insight. Subscribe, thumbs up. I'm out.